Hello everyone and welcome to the module 3. Finally we have it here where we're going to cover best no-code AI tools to build in 2025. So as soon as you get into the module, you'll see that first of all we have this description and the list of all these amazing and the latest AI tools that will help you build projects in no time, really fast. Basically, you just prompt the app that you want and you'll see later on, as I'm going to show you, how fast and how accurate these tools are building apps just by prompting. You don't need any type of code knowledge or any code skills. I have a list that I've created here. I'm going to start with the top AI-powered code generation tools for app development. So I've created this list. If you have any suggestions or you see that you find other tools out there that you see that are important to include here, please mention that on the comment section here down below. In the bottom of the page, you'll be able to comment. So make sure you comment there or in the feed. I will include your suggestions here. Let's make this list up to date so people can check it. So top AI powered code generation tools. These tools are basically one of the most famous now, and people or developers are using it every day. These tools basically create apps from top to bottom, just from prompt. Yes. So I have here Softgen.ai, which is one of the latest AI tools out there. Let me open their site here. Actually, I'm going to open all of these just in a moment because I want you to see a little bit here. So you can see Softgen building your startup. You can build startups, you can build AI apps without coding, you're AI developer. So make sure you check it out. Later on, I'm gonna talk about it more in depth in the next lectures and how to build an app from top to bottom with it. But this is one of the latest and one of the most amazing softwares I found right now and used. But there are also other ones like Lovable, which is really amazing to build apps. You just type whatever you want here, type whatever site or app you want, and it will create for you. V0 is also a very, very famous one. I think it was one of the first ones that appeared. Now Lovable is a little better than V0. Bolt was also one of the most famous ones to build apps. You can also build mobile apps with it, create UIs. Now Replit is also one of the most complete app builders using AI. It's simply amazing. All these tools are amazing. As a personal preference, I love Lovable and Softgen. So these two first ones are, for me, the best ones. V0, it's lacking a few features. Bolt, it's good, but it's a little bit expensive. Replit is amazing, but you need a little bit of knowledge to use it. Then you have Databutton. I haven't used this one personally, but I think it's very good alternative and very complete. They told me, and I see on YouTube tutorials, people saying that it's great. So make sure you take a look at it or test it. And then we have Windsurf, which is very, very famous. Windsurf is like an alternative or a competitor to Cursor. Now, these two, Cursor and Windsurf, is like having code editors. You basically install it on your computer. It's like using Visual Code Studio, but way more advanced and with way more AI features. And with these, you can also build basically anything you want just by prompting to the text box, and it will build the code for you. So people are not using Visual Code Studio anymore. They're basically using these two instead or other ones, but these two are the most famous ones. And you also have GitHub Copilot. I forgot to mention that. I should maybe include it here, which is also very famous. So let's jump and go to top no-code platforms for building SaaS. So if you don't want to have anything to do with code, or you are a very, very beginner, you don't like to see code, you don't like to organize structure or anything that has to do with code, you can alternatively use these platforms here. which are drag and drop platforms to build apps, or AI apps, or SaaS. So Bubble, Adalo, OutSystems, Webflow, Figma, Xano, and Softr. I preferably use, or I've tested Bubble. Bubble is probably the most famous one. Drag and drop to build apps software. So Bubble is build what do you imagine, build a professional product, launch to customers, and grow without limits. So you have to learn a little bit about it. It's like learning Photoshop. You have to go through a few tutorials, but as soon as you learn how to use it, you basically can build any type of small SaaS app, AI tool, whatever you want, a mobile app, anything. Just curious, let me check the pricing. I don't remember the pricing. Let me just check in a moment. So you have, they have good prices, $29 a month for starter, and then you have for live app, and then you have $119 for 2 app editors, premium control, customer. So it's pretty affordable. It's up to you to choose if you want to use it or not. So build to make your student, as you can see, it's basically like Visual Code Studio. You just download it, install it, and it will run on your computer locally. And the difference is that the difference from Cursor or these AI editors assistants from Visual Code Studio is that here you can basically use AI to generate code automatically instead of just using Visual Code Studio and type the code yourself or paste and copy the code. So here you just type whatever you want to create, and Cursor will automatically create the code, generate the code for you, and it will even organize the code, structure the code, find bugs, and fix the bugs. So it's pretty amazing that you can do with these tools nowadays. Forget about Visual Code Studio, forget about the old ways of building code, copy paste blocks of code. Forget about that. We are in another time now, and AI is taking over. So now, essential workflow tools. These tools are now used also nowadays, worth mentioning. Supabase, which is really cool, is a database that all AI tools are using nowadays. Very fast, very simple to implement. All the tools that I talked about earlier use the Supabase automatically. So when you generate the front end, they will use Supabase as the back end. Also, they use Clerk, which is very famous. This is used for user authentication. Replit API, it's where you can find the API if you want to include an API to your project. This is where you should go. All the APIs available are there. All these have the links, so you can click and link and go straight to their site. Firebase is also an alternative to Supabase, another database used nowadays with AI tools. Stripe, you can use PayPal or others, but Stripe seems to be the best payment processing platform for modern and AI tools. Resend is an API, it's an email API, also used for modern apps. Xano no-code backend building APIs and automating workflows. WeWeb front-end builder that connects powerful backends like Xano and Supabase. So these basically are essential tools that you can implement, or you should implement, if you are building a really big app and project with a front end and back end. Obviously, most of these will work in the back end. Let me know what you think, or if you want me to include another database here or another tool. Multiple AI agent builders. So these are the most top tech right now. And here basically you can create multiple layer agent workflows. So you can have a very, very complex workflow of many AI agents working inside a workflow for several outcomes. So you have relevance, it's one of the most famous. Crew AI is one of the most famous. AutoGen, LangChain, Cassidy, all of these are very, very famous software tools to create teams of AI agents. As you can see, build teams of AI agents that deliver human quality work. I'm going to go in depth later on with these and show you how to work with these ones too. AI tools to enhance product development. So obviously we have some ChatGPT, OpenAI. You already know what it is. It's an AI assistant for coding. chatbot development. So you can use also these assistants or extensions to help you code. Replit for Replit, Ghostwriter for Replit, Cohere, we already mentioned it. Automatically, this extension comes with Cursor and Windsurf AI. AI APIs for building AI tools and apps. So one of the most famous APIs is obviously OpenAI API to create AI tools. Deepseek is now also very famous because it's very, very cheap, almost free to use. Claude API, Google AI API, Mistral, and Cohere API. There are many, 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 many other APIs that you can use for your tools. If you want to build an AI tool or an AI app, you will need these because this is basically the brain of your AI. So whenever you see a site or an AI tool in the front end, you ask them to do something and it will deliver the outcome or the result. Let's say, for example, an image generator. It'll have to have the API connected to any of these APIs because these are the brains that create everything. And then we'll get the result from this and they will deliver us the result. So we will always need to connect to one of these. Then we have automations or AI agents, single AI agents that we can create. Zapier AI automates workflows, is very, very famous. Make and very, very famous to create agents and automations. We will use these later on also. ML for video and image editing, and Low and Clarify AI. It's also very famous for image and video models. Now, choosing the right no-code and AI tools. Depending on your project and the project that you're creating, the type of projects, you need to choose the different tools or the bundle of the tools that are more suitable to you. That's it. That's basically how you decide what tools to use. It depends on the project and maybe your budget too, because there are tools that are more expensive than others. Start to build your first product. Well, you'll have to define the idea, outline what you want to build, skill the right tools, choose platforms based on your project requirements, start building, test and deploy, market and scale. These are the steps that you should follow to create any project. So if you have any thoughts or comments, post them down below. Or if you have any suggestions to include more tools in this list, let me know and I will include it. So see you in the next lecture.